Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and realized you don't recognize the person staring back? It's still you, same face, same eyes, but behind those tired eyes, there's something missing, a spark, a sense of direction, a quiet voice that used to say, "This is who I am," and now, it's silent. You don't know when it started. There wasn't a dramatic moment, no loud crash, no fire, just a slow fading, like someone dimmed the lights on your life, one notch at a time, and you didn't notice because you were too busy being strong for everyone else. That's the danger of the quiet collapse. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand attention. It whispers. It creeps. It hides behind the to-do lists, the endless notifications, the expectations you didn't even agree to in the first place. And one day, you wake up, and your soul feels like a room that's been emptied out. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're present, but not really there. You do everything right, you check the boxes, you smile on cue, you play the part, and yet, when you lay in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, there's this haunting emptiness that wraps itself around your chest. It doesn't hurt like a sharp pain. It's heavier, a dull ache, a quiet knowing that something's off, and you can't quite name it. They tell you to take a break, to just relax. But how do you relax when your mind is a battlefield? How do you breathe easy when every breath feels borrowed? You don't need a vacation. You need a reclamation, because somewhere along the way, you gave too much. You handed out pieces of yourself like flyers on a street corner, hoping someone, anyone, would understand, would appreciate it, would give you something back. But they didn't, or if they did, it never filled the hole. And now, you're just tired. Not just the tired that sleep can fix. The kind of tired that goes down to the bones. The kind that follows you everywhere. Into conversations, into meetings, into moments where you should feel joy, but all you feel is numb. But here's the twist. This isn't the end. This is the turning point. Because if you've noticed the quiet collapse, then you're already ahead. Most people never even see it coming. They live their whole lives giving and giving, never asking why. But you're here, and that means something. Let's talk about why you feel this way. It's not weakness. It's not laziness. It's not a lack of ambition. It's misdirected energy. Think about it. Every day, you wake up and pour your mental energy into problems that don't belong to you. Into arguments you'll never win. Into worries about people who wouldn't notice if you disappeared. Into chasing perfection, when all you really needed was peace. And you wonder why you're drained. You've been trying to control the uncontrollable, measure up to invisible standards, be the rock, the fixer, the strong one, but you forgot the most important part. You're not a machine. You're not built to run endlessly without rest, without care, without reflection. So here's a thought. What if, today, you made a different choice? What if, instead of giving away your energy, you reclaimed it? What if you pulled back every little thread you've been spinning out into the world and tied them together into something powerful? Your focus, your presence, your center. That's where Stoicism comes in. No, not the stiff, emotionless version people misunderstand. I'm talking about the real Stoicism, the one that teaches you to separate what you can control from what you can't. The one that doesn't tell you to ignore emotion, but to understand it, to own it, to respond with intention instead of impulse. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. Strength isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, centered. It's in the way you pause before reacting. In the way you choose peace over proving a point. In the way you stop chasing approval and start living by your own compass. That's real power, and it's been yours all along. You just forgot how to reach for it, because life pulled you in every direction but the one that leads inward. So let me ask you again, where is your energy going? Not your time, not your money, your energy, because whatever you focus on grows. If you keep watering chaos, you'll get more chaos. If you keep feeding fear, it'll multiply. But if you choose, deliberately, fiercely, to feed your mind with clarity, your heart with stillness, and your soul with alignment, everything shifts. You don't have to burn everything down. You don't need to run away or start over. You just need to come back to yourself. Piece by piece, breath by breath, no grand announcement, no fireworks, just a quiet, powerful return. And maybe the people around you won't notice right away. Maybe they'll say, "You've changed," but you'll know better. You didn't change. You just remembered who you were before the world told you who to be. So today, right now, take a moment, not to react, not to plan, just to feel. Feel the pull to take back your mind, to stop giving your energy to things that drain you, to stop apologizing for needing space, silence, clarity. Let the world spin, let them talk, let the noise rise, but inside you, let it be still. That stillness, that's where your strength lives. That's where your power wakes up again. So when you walk out into the chaos again, because you will, you'll be different. Not louder, not tougher, just unshakable. Because you've made the shift. You've remembered, and from here on out, you take it all back. We all know the feeling, the overwhelming exhaustion, the kind that comes not from physical activity but from an invisible weight pressing down on us. It's not the physical tasks that tire us, it's something far more subtle, far more insidious. It's the mental energy we pour into worries, the emotional stress that builds up without us even noticing. Think about it. How many hours of your day are consumed by thoughts that don't serve you? Worries that haven't even happened, and fears that may never come true? It's like having a leaky faucet in your mind, constantly dripping away your energy without you ever realizing it. You don't see it happening, but before you know it, you're drained, mentally exhausted, and unable to pinpoint why. This is what I call the mental hourglass. Every thought you have, every worry that creeps in, every emotion that isn't processed, these are like grains of sand slipping through an hourglass. The more you let these thoughts control you, the faster the sand runs out. It's not about what's happening outside of you. It's about how you're choosing to respond to it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, *, The pain comes not from the world, but from our thoughts about the world. Think about it for a second. How much of your mental exhaustion is caused by your own interpretation of events, rather than the events themselves? Now, I want you to ask yourself a simple question. Are you wasting mental energy on things that don't deserve it? Take a moment. Are you obsessing over the little things? Are you letting the chaos of the world seep into your mind and take over? It's easy to get caught in this cycle, to let mental clutter pile up until it feels like there's no room left for peace. But here's the harsh truth. This is where your energy is leaking. The distractions, the negative thoughts, the anxiety, it all adds up, and over time, it empties your mental reserves. But here's where things get really interesting. The real chaos doesn't come from the world outside. It's not the noisy neighbors, the never-ending emails, or the endless to-do lists that are draining you. No, the true enemy is your focus, how you choose to direct your energy. You let unwanted guests into your mind, those nagging thoughts, unnecessary stress, the things that don't matter but still manage to take up space. These guests make a mess. They create clutter in your mental space, causing noise that distracts you from your goals and peace of mind. This noise, if unchecked, becomes deafening, and before you know it, you've spent an entire day, week, or even month in a state of exhaustion, feeling mentally drained for no reason at all. It's time to take control. You have the power to stop the leaks. You have the power to clear the clutter. The moment you realize that the real battle isn't with the outside world but with your own thoughts, you'll start to reclaim your energy. The key to energy preservation lies not in what you do, but in what you stop doing. Stop giving your mind away to things that don't matter. Stop allowing unnecessary worries to drain your mental reserves. The choice is yours. When we talk about the cycle of negative thoughts, it's not just a figure of speech, it's a neurological reality. Our brain is hardwired to fall into patterns, and those patterns aren't always helpful. In fact, they can often trap us in a loop of negativity that feels impossible to escape. Neuroscience tells us that the brain thrives on familiarity. It likes routine, even if that routine is painful. It's almost as if the brain has a twisted comfort in repeating the same mistakes, the same worries, and the same fears. But here's the kicker. Our brain mistakes this familiar pain for safety. We become so accustomed to negative thought loops that we start to perceive them as normal, even secure. We tell ourselves, this is just how things are. Asterisk, or I can't change who I am. But in reality, it's just a cycle that's been reinforced over time, a comfort zone built on discomfort. And like any cycle, it can be broken. This is where the concept of neuroplasticity comes in. The idea that your brain is not a fixed structure. It can rewire itself with conscious effort, and it's never too late to start. Imagine your brain as a vast landscape. Every thought you think, every decision you make, forms a path. Over time, these paths become well-worn, ingrained into the very fabric of your neural connections, It's like walking down an old dirt path that has been tread upon so many times it's the easiest route to take. But here's the thing. Just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's the best route. In fact, it's often the one that leads to your mental exhaustion and despair. The key is to start creating new paths that lead to healthier thoughts and better habits. At first, this will feel uncomfortable, even unnatural, but just like creating a new trail through the forest, the more you walk it, the easier it gets. Eventually, those new pathways will become the ones your brain turns to, and the old, destructive loops will fade away. But here's the real challenge. It's not enough to be aware of these negative patterns. Awareness alone doesn't change anything. You need to take action. Begin questioning those old patterns instead of obeying them. Every time you catch yourself slipping into a negative thought loop, ask, is this really true? Or is this thought serving me? Start challenging the narrative. Start interrupting the cycle before it can take root. This is the turning point, the moment when awareness meets action. It's where the real transformation happens. It's where the rubber meets the road, and you have the power to choose a different direction. And here's the hope you need to hear. You're not broken. You're not destined to stay trapped in these patterns forever. You've simply been conditioned to think this way, and conditioning can always be undone. Your brain is capable of change, more than you know. The process may take time, but with patience and consistency, you can start creating new paths. You can break the cycle. This isn't just a self-help mantra, it's backed by science. You have the power to rewire your brain and transform your life. The question is, are you ready to take that first step? Your inner voice, quiet, constant, often unnoticed, is the narrator of your life, and that narrator can either trap you in a story of fear, failure, and reactivity, or free you into one of growth, clarity, and direction. The truth is, most of us aren't even aware of how often we're talking to ourselves, let alone what we're saying. That self-talk becomes the lens through which we interpret everything. And if that voice is harsh, critical, or panicked, it colors every experience with doubt. But here's the shift. What if you could train that voice to become your greatest ally? What if, instead of echoing your fears, it reminded you of your power? Emotions are not the enemy. That's one of the biggest lies we've been sold. Emotions are signals. Data from your inner world trying to get your attention. Fear isn't a flaw. Anger isn't evil. Sadness isn't weakness. Each emotion carries a message. You just have to learn how to read it without letting it control you. The problem isn't that we feel. The problem is that we react without understanding. One small frustration spirals into a bad day. One moment of fear becomes paralysis. But if we pause, just long enough to respond instead of react, the entire narrative changes. Take this simple shift. From "I failed" to "I learned." That's not semantics, it's strategy. One locks you in shame. The other opens a door to growth. I've used this countless times in my life. In moments when everything felt like it was crashing down, I'd remind myself, this is part of the path. This is information. This is fuel. And slowly, the storm would quiet, not because I pushed it away, but because I changed how I faced it. Picture yourself as a ship at sea. The wind, your emotions, blows in every direction. You can't control the wind, but you can learn to sail. If you let fear steer the ship, you'll drift endlessly. But if you take the wheel and learn how to work with that wind, you move forward. Emotional mastery is like that. It's not suppressing the wind, it's adjusting your sails. Top performers, elite athletes, even ancient Stoics, they've all understood this. They used visualization not just to imagine success, but to prepare for failure, setbacks, and storms. They'd rehearse how they wanted to respond. So when the moment came, they didn't panic, they acted with intention, and you can too. Emotional mastery isn't about becoming a robot. It's not about pretending you're not hurt or scared. It's about directing that energy. It's about knowing when to act and when to pause. And more than anything, it's about reclaiming control. You are not your first reaction. You are not your worst moment. You are who you choose to be after that. And that choice, that's your power. Think about a river. It flows with incredible force. But if it hits a wall, it doesn't stop. It carves a new path. It adapts. It redirects. This is how energy works within us. We don't need to block it, control it, or suppress it. The key is learning how to carve a better path for it. Think of every emotion, every burst of anger, every moment of fear as that river. At first, it may seem chaotic, like it's about to overwhelm you. But if you allow it to flow, if you guide it, it can take you exactly where you need to go. Redirecting your energy isn't about resisting the tide. It's about moving with it. Choosing how you channel it, and what you do with that power. This concept ties into amor fati, a Stoic principle that teaches us to embrace whatever comes our way. Good or bad, happy or painful, it's all part of the journey. Instead of fighting against what happens, we lean into it, accepting it as a gift that can turn into strength. Every hardship, every setback, becomes an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. Imagine if you didn't see failure as defeat, but as an ally, helping you sharpen your resilience. This is where true power lies, not in avoiding challenges, but in welcoming them as part of your story. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's the crux of the matter. We can't control the external world, people, situations, or outcomes, but we have absolute power over how we respond to it. This is a game changer. It's not the events that shape you, but how you choose to interpret and react to those events. So, the question isn't, why did this happen to me? But rather, how can I use this to grow? It's in this shift of perspective that your power lies. You stop being a victim to circumstances and start becoming the architect of your own life. Now, imagine yourself as a Stoic swordsman in the heat of battle. He doesn't resist the blow, he redirects it. He uses the force of the attack to his advantage. When life strikes, you don't have to fall to your knees in defeat. Instead, Like that swordsman, you meet the challenge head-on and turn it into something that propels you forward. Life is full of blows, some bigger than others, but it's not the hits that matter. It's how you absorb them and move through them. That's where your strength is forged. In Stoic practice, there's a concept known as premeditatio malorum, which is the practice of expecting hardship. Instead of fearing the worst, you prepare for it. You acknowledge that challenges will come, and rather than be blindsided, you mentally equip yourself to face them. This isn't about pessimism. It's about understanding that life isn't always smooth sailing. And that's okay. You're ready for it. The more you accept the inevitability of adversity, the less power it has over you when it arrives. And here's the emotional climax. The real strength isn't just in holding on when life gets tough. Sometimes, true power comes in knowing when to let go. It's easy to cling to things, old habits, outdated beliefs, past mistakes, but real emotional mastery comes when you can release what no longer serves you. Redirecting your energy into what truly matters. Let go of what you can't control, and channel your energy into creating something new. This is how you carve your own path, how you build a life that flows with purpose, and how you become the person you were always meant to be. Imagine you're a crab trying to climb out of a bucket. Every time you make progress, another crab pulls you back down. It sounds like a nightmare, right? Yet, this is the reality many of us face every day. We try to rise, to achieve something greater, but there are always people, knowingly or unknowingly, pulling us down, keeping us in the same place. It's not that they want to see us fail, but rather that their own limitations, their own fears, hold them back from supporting our growth. This crab bucket mentality is everywhere, and it's insidious. It's not always someone holding you down with harsh words or actions. Sometimes it's the energy they carry, their negativity, their doubts, their unwillingness to change. So, I'm going to ask you something tough. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Think about it. Are they lifting you up, encouraging you to strive for greatness, or are they draining you with their complaints, their pessimism, or their comfort in mediocrity? It's a simple yet powerful question that can change everything. Your closest circle has a profound impact on your mindset, your energy, and your potential. You are the average of the people you surround yourself with, and if those around you are not inspiring you, challenging you, or supporting you, then you're going to find yourself stuck in that same bucket, no matter how hard you try to climb. We don't realize just how much we adapt to the energy of those around us. It's like an invisible force that seeps into our thoughts, our actions, and even our dreams. Have you ever noticed how after spending time with certain people, you feel drained, heavy, or even discouraged? On the other hand, after spending time with others, you feel lighter, motivated, and ready to take on the world. It's not just in your head. You're picking up on their energy. And whether you're aware of it or not, you're aligning yourself with it. This is why it's so crucial to surround yourself with people who match the energy you want to embody, people who encourage growth, positivity, and action. Let's take this a step further. Look around you. What does your environment look like? If your physical space is cluttered, chaotic, or disorganized, it's likely reflecting your internal state. Outer space, inner peace. This isn't just about cleanliness, it's about creating a space that nurtures clarity, calmness, and focus. Your environment is a mirror of your mind. When things are messy on the outside, they can become messy on the inside too. Clean up your room, your desk, your digital space. Curate your surroundings with intention. Every item, every person, every thought should be aligned with the life you're trying to create. This is your opportunity to reclaim control and set the stage for success. Here's the challenge. Start curating your space and your digital consumption. What are you feeding your mind every day? What content are you absorbing? And how does it make you feel? If your newsfeed is full of negativity, comparisons, or mindless scrolling, you're not just wasting time, you're feeding your brain with junk. Choose what you consume wisely. The same goes for the people you allow into your life, both in person and online. Protect your energy, fill your life with those who inspire, support, and elevate you. As Marcus Aurelius said, asterisk, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you want to live a life full of purpose, clarity, and growth, then you need to choose your environment carefully. Surround yourself with the right energy, and watch how everything shifts. There are certain tools in life that, when mastered, have the power to shift everything. The Stoics had their own toolkit, habits and practices that helped them stay grounded, focused, and unshakable no matter what life threw at them. Today, I'm going to share 3 of those habits that can transform your life. These habits don't just help you survive, they help you thrive. Unshaken, unstoppable. First up, gratitude. It's easy to fall into the trap of always wanting more success, more things, more recognition. But what if you trained your mind to see what's already enough? Gratitude is the practice of flipping the script from scarcity to abundance. When we focus on what we lack, we're feeding our mind with thoughts of insufficiency. But when we practice gratitude, we shift our mindset to one of abundance. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging what you already have and seeing it as more than enough. As Seneca wisely said, asterisk, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. Gratitude isn't just a nice feeling. It's a tool that rewires your brain to notice the abundance around you, to feel rich even when the world around you might seem barren. When you practice gratitude, you shift from scarcity thinking, where nothing is ever enough, to abundance thinking, where you realize that you already have everything you need to be content. Next, let's talk about emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or unfeeling. It means protecting your peace. Life will throw curveballs, people will push your buttons, and things won't always go your way. But here's the secret. You don't have to let every little thing disturb your inner calm. Emotional detachment is about giving yourself the space to remain centered, no matter what's happening around you. As Epictetus said, asterisk, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Imagine a storm hitting a sturdy oak tree. The tree doesn't bend because it's tied to every gust of wind. It stands firm, unaffected by the chaos around it. This is emotional detachment in action. You can feel the storm. You can experience the frustration, the anger, the disappointment, but you don't have to let it uproot you. By detaching emotionally, you preserve your peace and make clear, rational decisions, no matter how turbulent the world becomes. Finally, we have reprioritization. How many of us are guilty of being busy all the time, but not really accomplishing anything that matters? We check things off our to-do list without ever asking, is this really important? The Stoics didn't believe in busyness for the sake of busyness. They knew that time is the one resource you can't get back. Epictetus urged, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. It's easy to get lost in distractions, to fill up your schedule with things that don't truly contribute to your purpose or goals. Reprioritization is about asking yourself, what truly deserves my time? It's about being deliberate with your energy, not wasting it on meaningless tasks or trying to meet others' expectations. When you reprioritize, you focus on what truly matters, your health, your relationships, your growth, and let go of the rest. This habit is a game changer, because it gives you the clarity to stop running around in circles and start making real, meaningful progress. When you combine gratitude, emotional detachment, and reprioritization, you become an unstoppable force. These tools work together to build a mindset that is resilient, clear, and focused. Gratitude grounds you in abundance. Emotional detachment keeps you peaceful amidst the chaos. Reprioritization ensures you're only investing in what truly matters. Together, they make you unshakable. No matter the challenges, no matter the setbacks, you will have the tools to rise above. With purpose, clarity, and strength. The Stoic way isn't just for philosophers. It's for anyone who wants to live a life of power, peace, and purpose. And the best part, these tools are available to you right now to start using today. Here's the truth. Life isn't about controlling everything. It's about choosing what to focus on. We often get caught up in the idea that if we just had control over every little detail, everything would fall into place. But that's not how it works. We can't control the weather, the opinions of others, or even the events that unfold in our lives. But we can control where we place our focus. That's the shift. The power lies not in controlling everything around you, but in choosing where your energy goes. When you take control of your focus, you unlock an entirely new level of freedom. Now, you're at a crossroads. You have a choice. You can keep reacting to everything that happens to you, letting life push you around, or you can start responding deliberately, consciously, and with purpose. The difference, one leaves you feeling helpless, overwhelmed, and powerless. The other gives you control. It's about stopping the cycle of automatic reactions and stepping into the driver's seat of your own life. When you respond, you own your experience. You create space between the stimulus and your reaction. And in that space, You get to choose. That is where your power lies. It's time to stop chasing the world. Stop running after things that only give you temporary satisfaction. The success, the recognition, the approval, it's all fleeting. Instead, turn your attention inward. Build yourself. Cultivate your mind, your skills, your emotional resilience. The world will always be changing. People will come and go. But if you focus on building yourself, if you take responsibility for your growth and your mindset, then you'll never be at the mercy of external circumstances again. You become your own anchor, your own foundation, and that's the most powerful place to be. And here's the final takeaway, the emotional core of everything I've shared. True freedom doesn't mean the absence of problems. It means the presence of self-mastery. It means being able to face the challenges, the disappointments, the chaos, with unwavering calm. It means not being controlled by your circumstances, but responding to them with strength, clarity, and purpose. Freedom is not about having a problem-free life. It's about having the ability to navigate those problems with grace and power. When you master yourself, you're no longer a slave to your emotions, to your thoughts, or to the world around you. You become the master of your own destiny. So, I challenge you. Are you ready to make the shift? Are you ready to stop reacting and start responding? Are you ready to take responsibility for your own freedom and become the person you were always meant to be? It all starts with one choice. A choice to reclaim your focus, your power, and your peace. The shift is yours to make. And when you do, you'll step into a life of true freedom. The question is, are you ready to take that first step?